Just ahead, an update on the Key Bridge collapse. Plus, the NTSB starts investigating.
I'm Byron Scott in Dundalk with the latest on the Key Bridge collapse. That story coming up.
And what we know about the construction workers. Those stories up next on CTV News.
Good evening, I'm Mariah Jalad with a CTV News update. Less than 72 hours ago, the Baltimore Francis Scott Key Bridge collapsed after being hit by a 985-foot-long cargo ship called the Dolly. Since then, the Port of Baltimore has been closed, and Governor Wes Moore has declared a state of emergency in Maryland. We continue our coverage in Baltimore, where the National Transportation Safety Board is on site, conducting what will be a lengthy investigation. It comes as the probe into the incident takes a shift.
You're looking at what's left of the Francis Scott Key Bridge. 3 days in, and this has now gone from a recovery mode to a salvage operation. The salvage efforts come as crews have recovered 2 bodies from the dark, deep waters of the Patapsco River.
I just want to extend our deepest condolences. You are in our thoughts and prayers.
They are identified as 35-year-old Alejandro Hernandez Fuentes and 26-year-old Dorlian Rondial Castillo Cabrera. Yesterday, the immigrant organization CASA released the names of 2 of its members whose bodies have yet to be recovered. They are 34-year-old Minor Sandoval and Miguel Luna.
Minor and Miguel are just 2 stories, 2 specific examples of thousands of Baltimoreans that are making a contribution to this beautiful country.
Dispatch the dive unit on this call to alert the dive team and start one more additional transport unit.
Investigators have released radio calls made during the incident, and the NTSB has released a timeline of events leading up to the collision.
The VDR recorded the ship's departure from Seagirt Marine Terminal at approximately 12:39.
1:07 a.m., the ship is in the channel.
At 01:24 and 59 seconds, numerous audible alarms were recorded on the ship's bridge audio.
1:26 a.m., a call goes out for tugboat assistance, followed by a call to drop anchor.
Around 1:27 and 25 seconds, the pilot issued a radio call over the VHF radio, reporting that the Dolly had lost all power and was approaching the bridge. At 1:29 and 39 seconds, the pilot reported the bridge down over the VHF radio to the Coast Guard.
I'm on 695, headed towards Bering Highway, here with the police. They're reporting that the middle section of the bridge collapsed into the water.
NTSB crews have been on the ship, sent up a drone, spoken with crew members, and looked over the ship's manifest. They have identified hazardous materials that made their way into the Patapsco River.
56 containers of hazardous materials. That's 764 tons of hazardous materials, mostly corrosives, flammables, and some miscellaneous hazardous materials, Class 9 hazardous materials, which would include lithium-ion batteries.
There are still many unknowns, such as what caused the ship to lose power, how long will the salvage effort take, and how long before the port is back to normal operations. And again, this is a salvage operation that is far from over. At the bridge collapse, Byron Scott, CTV News.
Also today, the state has requested from the Biden administration $60 million in initial emergency relief funding to help pay for mobilization operations and debris recovery from the collapse of the bridge. And workers and small businesses affected by trade losses at the Port of Baltimore could see some economic relief thanks to legislation being drafted by the Maryland General Assembly. The bill hopes to alleviate financial strain from the bridge collapse by providing income relief to port workers, independent contractors, and small businesses, and funding for port industries to prevent them from permanently moving their businesses to other ports. Governor Wes Moore said that protecting workers is a priority, and he would be working with legislators to get the relief passed.
I know there's a series of legislation that's been spoken about. There has not been language that's been produced yet. But the thing that we know is that we are going to work with the General Assembly, as the same way we're working with members of our federal delegation on ensuring that that our workers are going to be protected in this time.
Legislators have until April 8th to finish drafting the bill and send it to the governor for his signature. Well, a man is dead after an altercation with an off-duty Metropolitan Police officer in Bowie yesterday. State police say off-duty MPD Lieutenant Darren Jones was in the area of Route 301 and Trade Zone Avenue when he located a pedestrian in the roadway. Prince George's County Police assisted Jones on the scene, where the pedestrian, 28-year-old Ian Tilton of Annapolis, lunged at the Prince George's police officer with a knife. Jones then fired his duty weapon and struck Tilton. Authorities say this incident is connected to an earlier crash on Crane Highway and Village Drive, where one driver fled on foot. A shooting was also reported in the same area Tilton was found. Tilton was later pronounced dead at an area hospital. Well, crossover day has come and gone in Annapolis. The legislative deadline means a bill must have passed one chamber to be considered in the other. But one lawmaker says he's hoping a joint resolution he sponsored on the Israel-Hamas war can somehow be resurrected. Delegate Gabriel Acevero wants his colleagues to pass the ceasefire resolution before the end of session, and he's asking legislative leaders to take special action.
Well, I hope that we can, before we adjourn sine die, lead on this issue and send a clear message, not just to the 350,000+ Muslim Marylanders, but our constituents who support an unconditional ceasefire. So I remain hopeful because, you know, the General Assembly has not adjourned sine die as yet. But as far as the crossover deadline, we have not heard and we have not seen the resolutions come to the respective floors.
House Joint Resolution 2 is cross-filed in the Senate by Senator Joanne Benson. Meantime, Maryland leaders delay tough discussions on the budget until the final full week of the 2024 legislative session. A joint conference committee met for the first time yesterday, with senators accepting many House revisions to the fiscal year 2025 budget proposed by Governor Moore. But a sharp divide continues with the reconciliation bill. The House version added new corporate taxes, an expansion of gambling, and a proposal to fix the state's transportation fund. Senator Jim Rosapepe says he's confident that the differences can be worked out.
I think everyone wants to make some moderate changes on revenue to put us in better shape. And exactly what those will be and how big they'll be, I think, is what's being discussed. I don't think we're in a very contentious situation on it at all.
Legislative analysts project that the structural deficit will reach $1 billion in fiscal year 2026 and grow to $3 billion within 2 years. A Laurel man will spend more than 6 years in federal prison for a bank fraud scheme. He's 31-year-old Archie Paul, who was sentenced to 78 months behind bars, followed by 5 years of supervised release for aggravated identity theft, being a felon in possession of a firearm and ammunition, and other related charges. According to prosecutors, Paul and his co-conspirators used the information of more than 10 people in an attempt to defraud the bank out of more than $400,000. They were only able to get a little more than $151,000. Paul must pay that $151,000 in restitution. And former U.S. Senator Joe Lieberman passed away yesterday after complications from a fall in New York. Lieberman served 24 years in the U.S. Senate from the state of Connecticut. Lieberman became the first Jewish vice president nominee alongside Al Gore in the 2000 presidential campaign. He was 82 years old. And you're watching CTV News. Coming up, women from all across the county come together in honor of Women's History. We'll have that story for you after the break.
If love was a melody, I'd want you to sing to me in that voice that whispers my name. If the world was a dance floor, I'd waltz you shore to shore while the steel and twin fiddles play. The love song that goes
Welcome back. It's often said that women are the backbone of their communities. Well, here in Prince George's County, it's true. Today, County Executive Angela Alsobrooks hosted the 39th Annual Women's History Month Luncheon. The event celebrates the accomplishments of trailblazing county women and women who serve and partner with the county to make it better. This year's theme is called She's Trending. CTV News spoke with 3 of the She's Trending honorees, who are all a shining example of women doing great things in the county.
You feel the energy in the room. You're around such powerhouse women. To get to connect and talk to them and network is great. And then to see so many women in leadership positions doing amazing things, it's an honor to just be among them.
So Prince George's County is awesome. I am a product of PG County schools, the system, and so seeing these women who come from here and seeing how far they have went is definitely an inspiration.
Women are the backbone of society. Women, educate, women take care, women do everything. And I think it's really important because we need to acknowledge of who is really keeping up with society.
And one of those 27 She's Trending honorees will walk away with the Gladys Noon Spellman Award. While spring brings the promise of warmer weather and longer days, it also brings the increased threat of severe weather, such as thunderstorms and tornadoes. So FEMA wants everybody to be prepared when dangerous storms threaten your area. The agency says that it's important to listen to your local news stations for severe weather updates and warnings.
A couple of things that people can do to prepare for a storm, whether it's sunny before or they have notice of the storm, is first to have a plan of what you will do if you're caught in severe weather. That can include being able to access weather alerts, which you can do through the FEMA app. Also, the National Weather Service has a variety of ways that you can access weather alerts. Another thing you can do is have supplies on hand, whether they're in your home or in your vehicle. And then the third thing is to heed the warning of local officials. So, for example, if there's a flooding alert and you're on the road, don't drive through flooded waters. As we like to say, turn around, don't drown.
You can visit ready.gov for more information on preparing for severe weather. 60 organizations are calling on state leaders to stop wasting Maryland renewable energy subsidies on trash incineration. The coalition wants lawmakers to pass the Reclaim Renewable Energy Act of 2024 before the end of the legislation session. Despite widespread support from dozens of organizations and jurisdictions, it has not been endorsed by the governor, Senate, President, or House Speaker. It has yet to receive a vote in either chamber. Starting April 1st, Pepco crews will be canvassing communities throughout Prince George's County for their Quick Home Energy Checkup program. The program offers homeowners and renters a virtual or in-person assessment of their home energy use.
If a customer does sign up for a QHEC, what they can expect is to have a contractor come to their home and basically do an energy assessment. They will look at their appliances to see if they should upgrade to smart energy efficient appliances. They will check insulation on their windows, their HVAC unit to make sure everything is insulated properly. They will also check the thermostat to see if the customer should be eligible for a smart thermostat, which will help them save money. So all of those assessments and changes add up to big savings.
And on your screen is a list of communities that will see canvassing beginning April 1st. Pepco says it will last through the summer. And for more information on the program, visit pepco.com and click on the Ways to Save tab. Coming up after the break, Simon Buggs has the Thursday Sports page. What's going on in sports, Simon?
Hey everybody, and coming up on your Thursday Sports page, head coach Mike Loxley reflects on the career of a Terp great, and the new owner of the Baltimore Orioles speaks out. Stay right there.
I was kind of struggling finding like my self-identity because I was like too black for the white kids, whatever.
Some of them say I have an intimidating look.
They assume that I'm a girl. And if I'm out of space, everyone always thinks I'm always happy, and that's not always the case. If I only exposed her to what I am knowledgeable of, then I limit her.
She's this recipe, and I don't want it to come from one kitchen.
More STEM programs gives them the opportunity to try on different hats, because that's really all that growing up is.
I am more than the limitations of my past.
My parents.
My age. More than what you think you know.
More than what you see.
And when you see that I'm more than, that's when I become me.
All right, sports fans, we begin your Thursday sports page with some college football news. It was the end of an era this past season for the Terps as longtime quarterback Talia Tagovailoa suited up for the team for the last time. Tagovailoa had been under center for the Terps for the last 4 seasons prior to him leaving Maryland, and head coach Mike Locksley touched on what made the Hawaiian native so special during his time in College Park.
You just look at his playmaking ability. I mean, his ability to extend plays, and you look at this guy left here is our all-time leading passer in this league. So, I know it's really disturbing at times when you hear the hate sometimes that maybe he received. But he did his part for what we brought him here to do, which is to lay a tremendous foundation for us to grow and build this program into a championship-type program. So, really thankful for that.
Switching gears to the major leagues, it's official, Orioles fans. The team has been sold to billionaire David Rubenstein. It was announced yesterday that the MLB owners have unanimously approved the sale of the Birds to Rubenstein, and the Baltimore native spoke today and expressed how much of a pillar of the community the Orioles are.
I want the high water mark to be in the fall when we go to the World Series and we show that we are a city that supports a great team, and we are a city that is represented by a great team, and we unify the city in ways that only the Orioles can really do. We have other teams and other great institutions in this city, and I've been involved with some of them like Johns Hopkins. But nothing unifies a city and unifies this city as the Baltimore Orioles and as the success of the Baltimore Orioles.
And wrapping up today's sports page, the Birds' quest to win back-to-back American League East titles began today as the team took the diamond against the Los Angeles Angels for opening day. And that wraps up your Thursday sports page. Simon Buggs, CTV Sports.
Thanks, Simon. Now let's get a quick check on our 3-day weather forecast. Tonight will be cloudy, and Friday sunny and clear out with a high of 60. Saturday will have a high of 61 with a 40% chance of rain. Sunday will be partly sunny with a high of 67 and low of 48. And now for the community calendar, Prince George's County Parks and Rec is hosting its Fitness in the Park Spring Kickoff event this Saturday. As the weather gets warmer, why not spring into a new outdoor fitness routine? The event includes full body sculpt, yoga, and Zumba, so for more information, contact Parks and Rec at 301-218-6700. And that wraps up our CTV News Update. I'm Mariah Jalad. Join us again tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. Good night.
If the time comes, be ready. Learn CPR and join the nation of lifesavers. Nearly 3 out of 4 cardiac arrests that don't happen in hospitals happen in homes. CPR saved my life. I've teamed up with the American Heart Association as a national ambassador to help create a nation of lifesavers, turning bystanders into lifesavers through CPR education and access to AEDs. Join me to ensure everyone has the chance to live longer, healthier lives. Visit heart.org/nation.